can still see them standing near the door, helplessly, while the men took turns, one after the other. Day and night, I tell you, night and day, every girl walks in terror of what happened to me. By the time we were 8, we know that a man can grab us whenever he pleases, take us to some dark place and push us down, break into our bodies, destroy our childhoods and our futures. Inside our homes, we feel safe. But when we go out, the fear takes hold of us, day and night, night and day. It is like a vulture flying just above our heads while we walk or work or play. And when it happens, it is beyond any nightmare.
My mother wasn't in an accident. She'd just been assassinated. She was gunned down driving to a meeting with the Canadian ambassador because of her work enrolling our allies for the democratic movement. This was in '96. My father was still in jail, and my mum had become the voice of the movement. She was driving in the streets when the car that had been tailing her was with soldiers. They overtook, shot her driver, and then shot her driver, and then shot her. Point. Yeah! Well, I don't know that she knew what was happening, because it happened so quickly. You know, probably, she would have been thinking that the noise was a flat tire or something. And then they killed her.
When they are finished with me, I'm thrown outside. My clothes are torn, and I'm nearly naked. My uncle and father helped me to my feet and walk home with me, past hundreds of townspeople. No one says a word to me as I go by. They all lower their eyes or stare at me with disgust. Now I'm unclean and dishonored. In the eyes of the tribal elders, my family and the villagers. In that 1 hour on the stable floor, my life has been destroyed.
So we're on the final day of the 90-mile Gruntollett March, just outside Derry on a narrow road. There's an ambush. 100 men come down the hills on the right hand, holding clubs with nails in them. Others come up from the riverside on the left. And the police block us, front and back, to allow them to come at us. People are running, they're screaming. And now I'm in the front. But I mean, all you could do was keep walking. And then, just as we come into Derry, on a small narrow street, stones are lobbed down on us. The police block the street. We've got nowhere to run. I try and get in the doorway of a shop, and of course it's locked, and I'm screaming, and blood's running down my face. But the shop assistants are standing inside, and they're laughing. And they're people from my background, you know. I mean, you have to dehumanize any group of people to demean them that way. And now I experience from the inside this paralyzing sense of powerlessness that comes from humiliation. I'm hit by a couple of men wielding heavy branches like clubs. When I go home, my neck and shoulders are badly bruised. My family was very distressed. But then comes the classic remark. If you hadn't been there, it wouldn't have happened. I was suddenly an outsider in my own family. I crossed the line. That march changed the shape of the rest of my life.
After 9 years of exile, I took the first chance I had to return to Asia in 1981 with the International Rescue Committee work in Thai Cambodian camps. With my team, I travel into the jungles to bring supplies, food, and clothing. We reach a refugee camp on top of the mountain, still run by the Khmer Rouge. The refugees are told to come outside the camp walls to collect the supplies we brought them. They're not allowed to speak. They march out in line, dressed in black pajamas that Khmer Rouge insist they wear. Just seeing these Khmer Rouge soldiers in their uniform brings back the war. My parents, friends, all gone. I never got to say goodbye. It's hard for me to keep quiet. I want to free these refugees. I now have a raging struggle to continue working in Cambodia to help its people recover. I know from this moment on, my life is going to change.
For the next few days, I lock myself in my room. My mother brings me food, but no one speaks to me about what had happened. And I speak to no one. In my country, women don't talk about such degrading things with others. I knew about 3 other rapes that had taken place before mine. One woman complained to the police, but they dismissed her case. Another stayed home and never mentioned it again. And the 3rd woman killed herself. She swallowed a bottle of pesticide and died right there. Is that what should I do? I ask myself. In Pakistan, staying alive is seen as more cowardly, as shameful than the rape itself. But in my heart, I don't believe that anyone in my family really wants me to die. Especially my mother. I can see it in her eyes. I can feel in her touch that my pain is hers, that she suffers with me and wants me to go on living. But if I don't commit suicide, what will I do with my life?
All the time in a refugee camp, I dreamed to go to school, to learn to be a doctor like my father. But we couldn't go outside the town. Or they might kidnap us, sell us to the warlord. We saw the window of the school shut. Finally, I'm so happy when I hold my first book in refugee school. It was coming to me from the University of Nebraska. 5 bullets times 5 ounces is equal to 25 weapons. The orange color is the rocket, and the blue color is the stinger. The green is the Kalashnikov.
Answer these questions in your notebooks. If one Mujahideen kills 4 Russians, how many Mujahideen wake up, pray, and then go fight and kill the Russians? What do you think about the Russians? Draw an aeroplane, bombing on your house.
Here, you see the house is burning, the man is hurt, and the children are fearful from the fire.
Many millions of dollars spent to bring the message of violence into the refugee school. There is no lesson. What is mother? What is brother? My first school is the propaganda to become a warrior.
We got over 600 million from the West to repair the country. But no matter how much you bring, you cannot restore the soul. The war is never over. How can you put back together a family that has been destroyed?
We need to start from scratch. The younger generation, I'm saying education. Yes, you can build a building very easy, but it's better first to build the mind. And then the building, so that the building should be safe in the mind. When I started my work and would speak to the police, they would say, "Oh, come on, women don't feel loved if they're not beaten." I was astonished. He beats you, therefore he loves you. It's a Russian saying that comes from the 16th century, from Domostroy, household rules, written rules stating how a household should be run.
The man is master of the house.
And everybody else is a servant?
A man should punish his wife to make her more obedient.
Don't beat her on the face, because you won't be able to show her in public.
Don't beat her on the stomach if she is pregnant. It's better to use the whip rather than a stick because it will be more painful, so she will learn her lesson better.
After beating her, show how much you love her, so she will understand the lesson deeper and appreciate you more.
He beats you, therefore he loves you. Since the 16th century, it has been an excuse.
One idea keeps pushing away the others. Maybe I can help the women of my country. Yes, yes, that could be possible. So this is how I'm thinking when I learned that my rape is not just an evil plot of the Mastories, but was ordered by the tribal elders, the very men who are supposed to deliver justice and protect all women as if we were their daughters. Nowhere does the Quran say that Islam supports violence against women. This is why the Imam tells the congregation in his Friday sermon.
The village council has sinned greatly in ordering this violation of Islamic law. The criminals responsible for the rape must be brought to justice. Mukhtar May and her family should go to the police and file charges immediately.
I had never heard of the Constitution or realized I was a citizen of Pakistan. And that citizens, even if they are women, have legal rights. In my whole life, I had never talked to a lawyer or a judge or a policeman. But this Mukhtaran was not the same woman who had kneeled down to the Mastories. Now, whatever happens to me, I'm going to speak out.
Which newspaper did you say?
The New York Times. What is your reaction?
Excuse me, to what?
You don't know?
No. What is it?
Your father is dead.
You're mistaken. But he wasn't mistaken. My father was dead. He'd been in solitary confinement for 4 years since the election. He was supposed to be released within days. He died in a meeting with the US State Department and Nigerian government officials, probably poisoned. His presidential campaign had been called Hope 93, Farewell to Poverty. Our country was then one of the poorest in the world because of the corruption of leaders. For the first time in Nigeria's history, people had voted for the man, for the promise that the military government didn't want to leave. They offered money, access to oil fields, but they couldn't find a price my father would accept. He wouldn't betray his democratic mandate from the Nigerian people, so they took his life. The same as with my mum.
8 days after the rape, I traveled to the police office in Jatoi, many miles away with my father and brothers. The policeman is sitting at his desk